Happy birthday, Will Merritt, and welcome to the podcast, Phil Schaaf. Enjoy the show. Take it away, boys.
He's back, Will, and he's much friendlier lately. I don't know. He's did you have a chat with him, I guess?
Maybe he's having a cold one.
Maybe he did. He was on the links. He was he was in Scotland last weekend, so it's all good. So we're very excited to be back here today, and we have a very, very exciting guest. Just before we get too far in, Phil, I'm just going to open it up and let you introduce yourself, because I think today we're going to be jam-packed. There is a ton to talk about. We're super excited that you joined us. So everybody meet Phil.
JG, thank you very much, Will. I appreciate y'all having me on. I'm excited about this, looking forward to it. Phil Schaaf, I'm Division Vice President of Daikin Comfort Technologies. I cover the South Division over independent and national account distribution on top of our rep channel as well. So happy to be here.
That is awesome. Yeah, we have lots of questions. So
I hope I can answer them. And I hope I don't geek out on y'all too much. I am an HVAC nerd in my heart.
So are we.
So.
No,
I got 30 years in it. So
yeah, you're in the right company for geeking out, so you're good to go. But Phil, tell us a little bit, because you weren't always with Daikin. Give us a little bit of background. It was very interesting when we met.
Yeah, thank you. So it's again, HVAC geek. It's all I've ever done. I actually started out in high school from a vocational school. I decided I liked electricity, right? And I thought I was going to go be an electrical engineer or something like that. So that's what I took the classes, I kind of went from there. So I've never left the industry. That was many years ago. And so started out as a sheet metal fab shop boy, sweeping the floors, then went to install, then went to startup, then went to service. Then I decided I want to do an industrial commercial route. So then I went and did that. That was actually with the University of Louisville. And then so I did that for a few years, and then I got hired with a train company. So I started out as a commercial industrial technician. I was a hybrid of sorts, did controls and mechanical. So I did that for about 4 years with the train company. Then they decided I guess I wasn't worth a darn as a technician, so they decided to put me in sales. So I transitioned to accountant manager. Right.
Good decision. So, that was a good decision.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got to get this guy out of the field. So, so 2 years I was an account manager for train commercial. Then I decided to go to what they call the dark side and went to the residential. So I then became a territory manager for train. At the time they called it the dealer sales office, the DSO, which it's still at today. So I did that for roughly about 4 years. So all in all, train was about 10. And so I had the contractor stint, U of L stint, 10 years at train. Then I left and went to GE Appliances to kind of kick off their hire division. That was actually before hire purchased GE. I was in the midst of all of that, right? So that was roughly about a little over 2 years, give or take. And then I was given the opportunity to join the Daikin team. I've been doing that now for 8 years.
Yeah.
So all in all, like I said, it's the industry's been like dog years, but I've enjoyed every single bit of it. And, who knows where this industry can take you. It is amazing. There's always so much to do and learn. And that's why I tell people all the time, I'm a big fan of the industry.
Yes.
Do you sleep, Phil?
Do I sleep? No, I don't think I do.
So where are you? You're in Kentucky?
Yeah, I am. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. So the home of good bourbon, baseball bats, and fast horses.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And there is a promise. I think we're going down there to see some fast horses with you next year. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
Absolutely right.
Well, hey, congrats to the Louisville Cardinals. My buddy Mike, JG, his son, they won the rugby national
Yes,
championship.
they did. I was there, Will Merritt. I sat in the stands and watched him do it. Yep.
Yeah, he didn't come to poker last week because he was at the rugby championship. Hey, I donated to the cause. So
there you go. Well,
we needed fun. So
my daughter played. They played in the Premier League for the women. Did not have the outcome they wanted, but she took some names. So you know how the rest of that sentence goes. So it was good. I actually sent Phil a video of her cracking some, so it was good.
Nice.
But no, Will, when I met Phil in Scotland, we met on the Daikin trip, or the Amana trip that we were just on, and which again, Phil, man, if you talk to the people, that was an amazing trip. Thank you so much. But the more I talked to Phil, I realized how cool he will be on our podcast, because not only has he been in the field like we were, he was also a territory manager. He was also part of building contractors, and then he's got the manufacturing side, Will, which we didn't get as close to, I think, through we were. Yeah. So I thought a good topic today would be, what distributors see that contractors miss, because there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and I'm back in a general manager seat, and I'm starting to understand how different things are and how things have been changing, right? So just in general, Phil, and we're going to get into it more, but just overall, what do you see? Like, what is distributors seeing that contractors are missing?
As far as missing, I want to say, I think the biggest thing right now is how the market's changing, right? So I would say missing is evolving with the market and the speed of that evolution. It's not an easy thing to do. It's very, very challenging. So I don't take it with a grain of salt, but the market is constantly changing. The targets are changing. So if your sales pitch or your offerings aren't changing with the market, or if you're not looking at your analytics, that could be the biggest thing, because at any point in time, you don't know what the drivers are, and the drivers can change. Is it the financing? Is it repair versus replace? Is it IAQ? I mean, you never know when you have something thrown at you. Yeah. But I would say the biggest thing in my book that contractors can miss easily is adapting or reviewing their processes regularly and not, evolving with your analytics.
That's awesome. That we talk about that so often here, and it kind of leads into where I want to go with this. Is like, what do you see top companies do? Now, I'm not talking, when I say top companies, I'm not saying necessarily 250 employees. You can have a top company with 15 employees, right? What do you see that top companies do differently right now?
The biggest thing is selling solutions, right? The top ones sell solutions, not boxes. It's not about moving this widget or gadget or whatever. Yeah. It's really about solutions. And again, those solutions can change from the various types of outside influences. The solution might be a financing solution. The solution might be an IAQ, or it might be a ductless, might be a combination of both. But the biggest thing is it's offering solutions. I think is what separates a great company from just a company that's out there just trying to make some numbers and make things happen. And it goes back to that whole story that I heard years ago about a guy selling concrete, right? He went there to pour a concrete driveway, but while he was there, he's like, well, I can do it, but I might be a little more expensive. And he does a whole sales pitch. But as he's leaving, he sees a motorcycle parked in a rock pad, and he goes, while I'm here, can I go ahead and why don't I just pave that little section for that motorcycle? It wouldn't be much more, but can I do that for you? And then all of a sudden, it went from just a simple little driveway pour to a pad, then all of a sudden steps to a foundation, and so on and so forth. And all he did was ask.
Yeah.
Right? So it's offering solutions and not just getting the sale.
Now, you're right. And I agree. And I think you're dead on that's what a lot of people are missing. But I do think one of the things that's becoming inherently harder is that average system solution used to be $6,800. And we're getting to a point where even the financing is not making sense for some people, right? What are you guys talking about in that manufacturing era? Because you guys are pinched too. You got copper, you got things that you're feeling the pressure as well. I don't think you guys are making $1 million in every unit. And actually, I know you don't, because we worked in distribution. But what are you guys talking about, some solutions to give some relief to the end user?
Yeah, that's a huge challenge for us, because we're seeing where average solutions are becoming what we used to think was the top of the order. Now our base solution is what base solution is what upper echelon goal was 10 years ago.
That's right.
After the DOE shift and A2L with the tariffs and all the price increases, it's a huge, huge challenge. The biggest thing is being nimble with your financing. Like you said, financing may not match. So being nimble, having multiple partners, multiple options, that does help. You know, there's other options that people are looking as far as leasing out there. That hasn't taken off so much, but it is something that we as a manufacturer were looking at some point in time and actually beta testing it, because in other countries they do that. There's leasing offerings.
Yeah.
So that was something we were looking at, a whole host of things, and then getting better at manufacturing our equipment, having less components, less. You know, if we can get better technology, faster at manufacturing, keep our costs down, have less components, the cost comes down. That's something that we do as well. And then really also look at the options. Okay, so if we can maybe strip out certain things for indoors that have affordable solutions, but then again, help all contractors sell up. That's always the goal, but we got to keep that eye on the ball. But JG, I'm going to say it's an ongoing challenge.
Yeah, it will be.
And Will, I know you see it too. That as far as
It's crazy
getting those costs down. Yeah.
Friends, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna have to replace my system. They all know me as I'm the heat and air guy, and so they always ask questions, and I'm like, it's a lot more than you think. You know.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, and like you're saying, the cost of just the equipment alone is such a big portion of it. But then by the time you add in all the ancillary stuff just to put the system in, it's pinching it's pinching everybody, contractors, homeowners. I mean, it is a trickle down effect because now it's a $20,000 investment for a homeowner.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's definitely a huge issue.
we're only 13 minutes in, and I'm going off script. Just heads up.
Well, I got one too. I got one.
Go ahead. You go first, Will, because I'm going to go off script.
No, I just thought I saw a little blurb from ACHR News, and they're doing it all the time. There's the potential, I guess, lawsuits coming out against the OEMs about pricing. So
I got an email today.
Yeah, I just kind of been keeping my eye on it about, I guess they're saying potential price gouging and stuff. So I just want to know if you guys from a manufacturer, if you had any input on that. I'm just kind of curious.
Well, so currently at the moment, I'm not allowed to address that.
Sorry, I need this.
Yeah,
good job, Phil.
Ongoing issues from an industry, perspective. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to discuss that right now, as it is an ongoing litigation with all manufacturers.
Yeah.
No, and where I was going with this is, I was in a truck a very long time ago, and I want to preface this by saying, but same day fixes was the way we did things. You had 5 or 6 different motors on your truck. That's just what you did. And we set ourselves a company goal through this processes that we're going through. I'm doing some Six Sigma stuff with the company. We found out that our same day fix rate is hovering about 75%. We want to get that to 85%. So what are we going to do to implement that? I didn't realize how challenging that's going to be. And if we can talk about just, for example, indoor blower motors and how we've gone away, and I understand it's the energy and what the government wants us to do and all this other stuff, but just being able to find a rescue motor or a aftermarket motor that will cover anything you might run into, it's insane. It's actually, we're actually having to get smarter about processes around maybe not having stuff on the trucks, having guys working second shift, having runners, that type of stuff, and doing it in such a way that we're profitable. But the same day fix thing is becoming a problem. And the reason we're trying to do it is because your customer's not going to wait. You might say, I'll be back tomorrow. They're going to go, no. I'm going to call Joe down the street, and he's going to come today because he might have a motor on a shelf, You guys, are you ever talking about the same day fix rate type of stuff as well?
Yeah, we are. Matter of fact, we just had every 2 years we have a national sales meeting, and in that we have a serious host of vendors, right? There's different things out there from a motor's perspective that are ECM, motors that are universal. And those are always a solid option to keep on your truck, because typically it's half horse, 3/4, or it's a 1 3/4 or 3/4 through 1, and it gives you 2 motors that covers your entire basis from a blower motor perspective. So I think that's always something to look at, and it's an upgrade. So a lot of homeowners might be going from a PSC motor where now you're offering an ECM.
Right.
So you're given that motor in the same day, but it is actually an upgrade, better airflow, better efficiency, all that sort of thing. So it's something we do look at. And then we as a manufacturer okay that stuff to go in our equipment. So that's why we want to make sure all of our territory managers and whatnot understand what are the options out there to talk to the contractors and making sure we're kind of helping, in that sector for sure.
Yeah. Now, I will say, and I'm not pumping one brand over another. We do a lot of Amana, and you guys have been amazing about, yes, you can put that motor in. Not all manufacturers are like that. And so it's very helpful. And, to that point, like I just use motors, but it's really becoming an industry where, it was easy. Yeah, you had a contactor, capacitor, a standard motor, and we just fix things all day long. It's not like that anymore. And I hope that homeowners can grasp that it's not that easy anymore, because every manufacturer is racing against government stuff to say we have to be this efficient, we have to do this. And everybody is using different components or starting to use more different components, and different matchups for things,
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing now you have to have decoders and
Yes.
special tools where, you're talking about circuitry where it's not just motors anymore, but how many different modules are you going to carry on stock, right? How do you know the module's bad right there on the spot? You can't just replace it out. You don't want to waste your truck inventory and be a parts changer. So we need to do a better job helping everybody understand how to truly and effectively diagnose, these modules and motors.
Yeah,
and
training.
I've got something to add on that. I was with a friend of mine recently in an open house, and he reps ICM, and he was showing me one of the defrost boards that you could. I can't remember. He said like over 200 units.
Yeah.
He was showing how you go in and just you had a little tool, and he said, "All right, it's this unit," and boom, it programmed it. So, are you guys comfortable with that too? And that's okay.
Yeah, you're talking like a debugger. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I guess he said he showed me the little board, and he said it's can replace X number of different OEM defrost boards.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And again, we work with those aftermarket companies to make sure that we're it's a cross pollination thing. But yes, if it says our brands on there, absolutely, it's
so that doesn't do anything with warranty. They're all you guys are good with warranty. Okay, that's good to know. I knew that was possible, but I didn't realize the breadth of it. And so he showed it to me, and he's an old friend of mine. I was like, okay, cool.
Now there is,
we even from a ductless RAQA mini split perspective, the third party controls, right? So we work with those folks to make sure they have our signals and that they do what we want them to do and how they do it. So we even go that route as well.
There is plenty of manufacturers out there though that's like, no, it has to be an OEM board. Yeah, but your board's 3-4 weeks out. Sorry. Got to be an OEM board. Yeah. And
your board's this expensive. I'm going to carry it on my truck.
Phil, a competitor, I won't name names, outdoor board for a mini split that we put in a couple years ago, still on warranty, $800 for that board. If I don't want to wait for the warranty board, I'm like, guys, I can go buy an outdoor unit for $500 and solve the problem. Right. And so it's the fact that you guys are flexible is huge. It really is. And it helps us in the field. So thank you for that.
Yeah. One thing we have to look at is parts availability, especially for modules like that. We need to have those things in stock and be available and make them more robust, right? Make them to where they don't fail. And trust me, there's testing that's always going on the modules. And most manufacturers they all do the same thing, but it's just important that it's kept up and you do that sort of thing.
Right. So we veered off a little bit, but we talked about what contractors are missing. I wondered, and we'll ask this question, we'll break for commercial real quick, but tell me what you see. Now, missing is one thing, but mistakes, right? What is something that top contractors do that, in your opinion, is a mistake?
I would say a mistake.
Having too many brands.
I've already talked about not changing with the times, right? Not evolving with the market. I got to think just failing to adjust processes.
Yes.
Not having a process in place for everything, where everything is repeatable, cookie cutter, whether it's a training process, whether it's your scheduling process. A lot of times we're all humans. We all get stuck in this path of what we've been doing, what's worked. But just because it has worked doesn't mean it's going to work a year from now or 2 years from now. So you constantly got to look at what's the next thing. And I think that's where, if I had to pick one, I think that's probably the biggest mistake is not thinking far enough ahead.
Yeah.
And where am I going to be in the next 5 years and how am I going to get there?
Right. No, I agree with you. All right, guys, let's break for a commercial here real quick, and then we'll be right back. Hi there, Beer Can Cold Nation. Today's episode is brought to you by Praxis. Everybody talks about the goal: more profit, more growth, more wins. But here's the reality. As average ticket prices climb, it's becoming more important than ever to stay organized and run real systems inside your business. Because the truth is this: the process is just as important as the goal. That's why we partnered with Praxis Software, built around one simple idea: the winning process made simple. From the owner all the way to the newest employee in your team, every business needs proven processes to build a winning culture. Praxis HVAC sales and pricing tool creates consistent pricing, improved product knowledge, and develop team members into confident professionals. And when your people are confident and your pricing is consistent, your business runs better, period. If you're ready to stop guessing and start running a real operation, call Marty and the guys at Praxis today at 678-680-5926. Again, that's 678-680-5926. Or visit them at praxisgroupinc.com. You can also find the direct link in the show notes. Praxis Software, because the process is just as important as the goal. And we're back. I'll cut it in later. Okay. So, no, I agree with what you were saying, but I really teed it up for you to say the biggest mistake they made is they don't sell Amana. But that's,
I'm trying to be impartial, right?
I like it.
I'm trying
I like
to be
it. So I want to dive into money, P&L, those kind of things. What you've been seeing, you deal with a lot more contractors than I think me and Will ever did. But where's contractors losing margin? Where does that happen for them?
From a margin perspective, there's various things that they do to that can affect it. I would say your costing, that's the obvious answer. It's the costing, not keeping up with the tariff increases, and it's all the small ancillary stuff that can get you. Yep. It's also from a financing standpoint. Are you just add the financing at to the job when you use it, or are you doing an averaging? What is your average? What plans are you using? So that's margin you can gain or give up there, depending on that. But also, are your sales processes held to the standard of not being able to override? Like, you have to stay locked into what you're doing. Have to stay true. You can't waver. Again, going back to selling solutions. If you're selling solutions, it doesn't matter what the cost is because your costs are built in. If you stay to it, it makes a big difference. But we all sometimes go to that sector. Okay, well, I'll come down a little bit or move here, move there.
Don't.
That stuff adds up. Yeah. Like I said, once you sit down on job costs, that you look at how much the whip, the disconnect, the pad, the RX11 flush, you name it, list goes on and on. That stuff gets out of hand real quick. And if you think it's just truck stock, that's where it can bite you. Right?
You're right. The piece of advice I would have on this, and sorry to interrupt you, is if you have a good accountant, create a line item on your P&L that says discounts and make sure you map it properly. And it will blow your mind. If you're not looking at that already, because it's like, hey, Mrs. Jones called, she's unhappy. Give her $99. And that stuff, you don't understand and realize how quickly, especially if your managers have some autonomy to deal with some customer issues, how quickly that discounting thing gets out of control, and it'll eat your lunch because nobody ever realizes it until it's too late.
Right. And the other thing is service agreement strategy. the other key is what is your service agreement strategy?
That's right.
How are you executing it?
Yep.
That could be a big margin loss right there alone, because you're thinking that your service, agreements are out there making money, but essentially you're losing because you spend so much money just to get in the door.
Yeah.
You're not taking that into account. How much
Yep.
did you spend to get in that homeowner's door to get that service agreement? Now, yes, you did the service, but did you gain anything out of it? Right.
Yeah. And actually, you're right. And it's just having the plan, because me and Will actually have a friend that helps. He's a general manager for a company, and they do their PMs very, very inexpensively. However, that's not his focus. His focus is changeouts, because in his math, out of every 10 maintenances, he's getting a change out. And so to him, that's his investment, right? But he knows his math and he knows how to do that properly. So I hope he listens. I don't know if he's a fan or not. Will, that was your job to recruit him, but I want to give a shout out because that man understands his math 100%, and he knows that a cheap PM will get him that eventually. But his team is also coached very well on what to do on those maintenances and what to look for. So I think you're right. It's understanding the plan around your PM is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with that, I was taught a long time ago when I was a territory manager, all the walls in the HVAC business, and I always took that to heart. How much effort it makes you to go to the next level, and we always separate it out in certain walls and the investment that it takes as a business owner to get above those walls, and you don't realize how much in that transition a company can lose so much margin really quick.
Yeah.
By making those investments but not building them properly into their systems and policies, and they're still operating like they used to be.
Yeah.
So that's a big issue as a company's growing rapidly. It could be detrimental. I've seen fast growing contractors go from 0 to being an equipment purchaser of 1.5 and then be out of business 2 years later.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Absolutely.
And that's that rapid growth that they didn't adjust.
It also
That's
doesn't
very
help.
scary in our business.
Yeah, it also doesn't help. There's a bass boat and a brand new F-150 sitting on the driveway, because that's what do we do? The first thing we do, we got some money in the bank, right? So, actually, in that vein, I want to ask one more question, and then I want to get into some VRF stuff. Give me advice, Phil. So I am starting a company, or I bought a company, or I have operated for a little while, but I don't understand how to pick a manufacturer, how do I buy equipment? Am I buying equipment correctly? Because we were all territory managers, right? And I think what Virginia, and I name dropped them again, I should really stop. But what we did a little differently is we didn't always look at the size of the company. We looked at what made sense for us and for that contractor, right? Which I know that there's manufacturers out there that, well, you're not big enough, so you're tier 4, and so you're getting 1,000,000% margin, right? So how do I negotiate properly to buy equipment properly? Because that goes right into my margin.
It does. And I would say this one right here is definitely not a one size fits all. I've seen it across the board.
Right.
Because it might make sense for someone to be a consignment dealer if you can get one. But also with consignment comes a lot of risk and a lot of burdens that are there. It sounds like the easy button, but it may not be. Are you going to be rigid with that inventory? Are you going to account for it? Are you, once it gets upside down, the piper is going to come calling, and then all of a sudden your margin eroded. So it's, let me answer this in two ways. So there's not a one size fits all cookie cutter by company. It's really about what your focus area is and how you go to market.
All right.
And your coverage area. Somebody more in a rural market, consignment or having on-hand inventory is going to make more sense because it's about speed, right?
Yeah.
It's microwave society, but find a distributor that might work with you in that sector to give you the best program. Is it better to get terms and buy the equipment up front on a stocking order, or is it better to get it on consignment?
Good point.
I was always the one is if you give me terms on consignment, I don't have to worry about getting upside down or something happen, get sideways. It's mine, but I know I have it. Give me 60 days, 90 days, whatever it might be. So those are questions to ask and to think about what is my coverage area? Who am I going after? I'm going after RNC, it's going to be longer turns. I'm not concerned about it. I'm going to get my stuff in. If I'm AOR only and I'm again out a little bit out from this coverage area and I don't get trucks as fast from my distributor, I can't have my guys go in there, pick it up, and waste too much time inside the showroom. How do I eliminate that? Those are the questions to ask, and find somebody that can work with you is key. But it's hard to say it's one size fits all or one.
It's not.
Sector.
Yeah.
No.
It was a little bit of a loaded question, but there's a lot that goes into that piece of it, because it's like, and I think the thing that I'm realizing more and more, and for 12 and a half years, I lived relationship and didn't realize how important my relationship was with my contractors. There's a level of trust. You need to find somebody you can work with. If you do not like your territory manager, don't necessarily drop the distributor. Go talk to the guy above and say, listen, we're not getting along. But you have to have somebody in your corner that fights for you. When I was a territory manager, there's two of the people I visited on a weekly basis where I had a desk, because they expected me to come in, spend 3 or 4 hours, go through the warranty stuff with them, like do these things for them. And I felt like we had a great relationship. And so when a price hike or a bump or something came along, the conversation was always a lot easier, you know. But I do think that relationship is important, and it's not a one size fits all, but it's also looking at, am I going to sell high efficiency? Am I going to be the 14 SEER guy in town? There's so much of that. And then what is my marketing dollars going to get me? That's a big one, because we're finding out now at our volume how important those marketing dollars are.
Yeah.
And Will knows, because I give most of it to him.
Well, and going back to your territory manager point, and I think it's okay as a business owner or a general manager or any managing person inside the company that works with that territory manager to help kind of train them the way you want them, right? Like, they don't know how you specifically want it.
Right.
And it's okay for you to kind of have that open dialogue with that territory manager, especially if they're new, and give them the opportunity to kind of learn what you need from them. Because it is very, very important that territory manager is giving you what you need. That's number one. Yeah. And I always say, when I was a territory manager, I fully believed in having monthly business meetings. I truly had to sit down with every contractor and have a monthly business meeting. Let's review your mix. Let's review your market share, your wins, your losses, headwinds, tailwinds, all those sort of things. And are we on pace to where we were last year? How are we looking? All those things. And that helps that dialogue when that team knows they're bringing you that kind of value and that kind of review on a monthly basis. Like you said, JG, it grows. It's that level of trust. Yep. You start working together, and they become a true asset and it's a win-win situation.
That's right. That's right. Well, you were going to say something about the marketing part of it.
No, I just was going to interject, Phil. We try to use manufacturer co-op dollars wherever we can to offset the marketing investment. And so a lot of times, you guys might give a higher percentage to higher efficiency equipment. So that's something to think about. And sometimes contractors they'll spread their equipment purchases out. And we had this conversation recently with a distributor, and they're like, they're losing marketing dollars because they're doing this other thing. That's something I think sometimes contractors don't really look at, and those marketing funds and co-op funds can be pretty substantial. So that's all.
Absolutely.
No, and I know we were looking. Go ahead, Phil.
I was going to say that's a great point, and a lot of times, you find out that, wow, how many marketing dollars did you leave on the table the previous year? And you start thinking about how many leads would I have gained if I had maximized that, those marketing dollars and those funds. And
it's a huge number throughout the industry. Billions are left on the table each year. It's crazy.
Yep. No, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm probably going to say something. They're going to be like, from a manufacturing standpoint, you think of it like breakage, right? They have it.
Oh, I'm very familiar with that term.
So you didn't hear it from me. You hear it from
That's
me.
a distribution manufacturing term, breakage.
Breakage. No, and listen, I get it, but you know what? Again, we're going back to what does the contractor not know or not understand? If you don't pay attention to the fringe benefits, they you won't get them. Like that's a big deal, man. And when your marketing co-op back from a distributor is $300,000-$400,000, that buys airtime and a lot of it. It buys websites. It buys so many things. And you guys allow us to pay for some software with that, like different things. And it is just that's a lot of money you're leaving on the table if you don't pay attention to it, for sure.
So listen up.
And-
Sorry.
No.
Let me just say this. I'm just going to say, guys out there listening, this is big. So I'm going to maybe move some business over here. They're a little bit less expensive, on the 14 SEER line or 15 SEER or whatever, but you may be losing those marketing dollars. And again, you're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. So
That's right.
And think about that. Just because maybe they're $100 less on a unit or something, what we see a lot of times. What's the contractor going to do? Lower the price.
Mm-hmm.
What's that helping you do? You're lowering the gross sale.
It's a race to the bottom.
And maximize, like JG was saying, you were saying, Phil, get that relationship with somebody you trust. And I would ride that horse. If you trust them, they're going to work with you. You work with them, maximize everything you can, and have a really strong relationship. I'm sorry.
Question from an equipment standpoint, ask the question, am I getting marketing dollars or am I getting co-op dollars? There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Difference. Because co-op dollars is a 50-50 split, and that's all you get, right? It's still good. Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But if you can get marketing dollars, that's a different ballgame. As Will was just saying, you can use it for other things, and not just for advertising. You can use it for actual investments.
That's right. No, it's really good. Now, this is your segment here. This AQ Ductless Phil have fun with it segment, because I know you've been saying you're excited about this piece of it, right? So I'm opening the floor to you. Talk to us about VRF, because I don't think a lot of residential contractors understand the concept of VRF or yet, right? It's coming. Guys, it's all over Europe. It's been over Europe for years. Mm-hmm. To be able to heat one room and cool another, there's power in that. A lot, right?
Yep.
Huge power. And the technology is only getting better. Daikin invented the technology back in 1991. Mitsubishi was therefore after Daikin invented it. But it's been around since then. And that concept of taking heat from one room and moving it to heat the other side of the room on a true east and west situation, right? When you can shift that load around, and by merely just moving the refrigerant, making one the evaporator, one the condenser, and you just have the compressor on the outside that becomes a pump. Mm-hmm. It's huge, but we're talking major benefits. Easier installs, because you're not dealing with large chillers, you're not dealing with cooling towers, you're not dealing with a lot of different things, but it gives you a lot of flexibility. Mm-hmm. Take that now, and let's start looking at it from a smaller perspective, from a residential perspective. Mm-hmm. If we can eliminate ductwork fully, and you don't have branch boxes and a bunch of components that you got to find places to stick them.
Leak.
Then, right, you eliminate leaks. So,
most comfortable crawl space I ever crawled in, because it's conditioned, because it's leaking.
Because of leaks, right? Excuse me. So from a technology perspective, we're getting better. We're honing it in. We're making it more affordable than it used to be. You think, there's no way we're going to afford that, or homeowners going to buy it. But really, it's about education. It's about the benefits. It's about what the energy usage. My whole second floor has been nothing but a multi-split for 12 years, and I've never turned it off. And everybody says, that's your whole system. It is. My whole second floor has been nothing but a multi-split, and it's a basic multi-split. Mm-hmm. So not a low ambient heating or anything like that. It's basic, but the technology is there, and it can carry the industry. It's just about adaptation and education.
Right.
That's the big part of it. It's about, what are you getting used to? Can you get in your mind of not having a big central system?
Yeah. It's just, we're so trained for the, ducted systems here in America. And like I said, everywhere else in the world, it's not like that,
Right.
What about IAQ on, because, we're also trained that IAQ lives in ductwork, right? Yep. And I know we can get the little light to go on our mini split, but Is there more? Is there better?
Yeah, I mean, you have standing room units now, right? That you can use portable
Loose standing
units.
up.
There's ERVs, right? That's the biggest thing. You really all new homes should be looking at ERVs anyhow.
I
So
agree.
there's ERVs with IAQ home suites that you can add into the home, into the space, where that way you're still going to get that that fresh air feeling with VRF or with VRV.
Okay.
No, absolutely. So, with that said, just to kind of tie this around, or to tie a bow on everything, I want to bring up the fact that we talked about processes and how incredibly important processes are, and that's what contractors are really missing. Build relationships with your distributors, also through processes, right? And then look at, look at new technology. VRF is a game changer, and so now, if I were to set myself apart to a customer that is saying, I can't afford the system and everything is at $18,000. Okay. Hey, I have a different option for you with different financing. And this thing, we're going to take the ductwork out of it. We're going to take all these things, and it could be a better option for your home. We're pretty close to the coast here, Phil, and we go down to Wilmington often, and it's amazing how many of these VRF systems are popping in the coastal cities.
That's right. And now, and keep in mind, like we have systems that do both, where it's a combo, where you have a VRV system, but you can still put a coil with a central, furnace or an air handler, but yet you have wall heads in one outdoor unit.
Yeah.
So it's not just a one size fits all. You can even mix and match certain, applications with VRV systems, which gives you a lot of flexibility. A lot.
Absolutely.
So if you wanted to go with a central system, but yet capture those sunrooms and upstairs and whatnot, but only have one outdoor unit, it gives you that. If you want to have no ductwork whatsoever and have that one system, but you run the whole house with nothing but tubing, without branch boxes, etc., you can do that. So it's a lot of options, but it definitely is becoming more and more. It's being adopted. It's being looked at and considered more and more, and I think we're still only tip of the iceberg when it comes to that.
It's come a long ways, but we're not even close. But there's ductwork it's not done right. There's so much lossage and energy wasted. So I think it's just the industry's got to take it on. Fully embrace it in America.
But as JG said too, as using it as something to make you stand out from the crowd, saying, "Look, this is an option."
Yep.
And it's about educating the homeowner. And they might say no, but that little tidbit of you just having it as an option would set you apart from someone else.
Yeah, they go, well, hey, no one else offered me that. They may still go with the ducted system, but they gave me a different option that no one else did. So
absolutely.
And they will work. And I used to get this all the time. So I'm, again, ductless geek when it comes to it. When I focused solely on it, even when I first got hired with Daikin, I was the division ductless guy. So I was the product specialist when it came to ductless. So I have ductless and VRF is near and dear to my heart. But I was going to ask, well, what happens if it breaks? Well, that gives me a little nerve. But what do I do? And I'm always like, well, what do you do when your gas furnace breaks?
Call somebody.
That's right. You can go fix it.
What, you mean you didn't know? Call somebody.
There's no strips. Like, no, there's no strips.
Right.
But the reality is, if it's done right, put in right, the chance of failure is like less than 3% when it's done properly.
Yeah.
And most of the time, even in large systems, we've done the research. We found out that most of the time it's lack of maintenance that caused the failure, not an actual failure itself.
That's right.
Sure.
Absolutely. We see it. We absolutely see it. So you will be happy to know on Sunday, after going to the beach on Saturday, because it's 55 degrees here, and that's when I go to the beach, because I'm a fat guy and I don't sweat at 55 degrees. So we're putting Daikin Mini Split in the garage pub on Sunday, me and my son. So pretty stoked about that one, because doing podcasting here and now is fine. Middle of July. Will knows. It's like I'm taking a shower.
Yeah.
It's like So we're going to condition it because this is where we hang out. This is where we brew. This is where we cook. This is where we do everything. So
He's not kidding either.
No, he's not. He's been here.
There.
And Phil knows. Phil will come visit. Him and Ashley and Dom. By the way, before I forget, Dom said to make sure and tell Ashley she said hi. Because the two of them, they became pretty good friends.
Oh, yeah.
So no, but it's good. And no, but that's what we're doing on Sunday. So, well, I want to make a statement to say, Phil, I hope you would accept this invite. Hold on one second. It's like, as a friend of the show, like you have open reign, call me, say I got something to talk about, and we want to have you on a lot more, man, because you brought a lot of value.
But we have one really important question.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. This is important. Let me turn the music back off.
Before we leave. So, we joke around with this, but it's real. I mean, and it's, to some degree, different things are real that we don't fully understand in this world. But so, do you or do you not believe in Bigfoot?
Oh, 1,000% do. He's real. He's just the hide and seek champion of the world.
Yep.
Bigfoot does exist. Yetis exist. Sign me up.
Yeah. Well, we're in North Carolina, and there's a lot of open terrain that's not populated. So
we're seriously considering, and I need to talk to Will about this more. But there's a Bigfoot festival in the mountains of North Carolina.
My buddy went.
I think we're thinking about doing a live one night from the Bigfoot festival. I'm telling you, that's how we're going to grow our listenership, is to do a live from Asheville somewhere.
Yeah.
So
I got a buddy that we do a college trip every year. Got a bunch of buddies, kind of a golf trip, Phil, down on the coast. And so that's coming up in about 4 weeks, JG. So I'm going down night early. So we did it last year, and we went into the Bigfoot and actually went into the alien conspiracy. So we're going to hit that again. So,
and I'm no joke. That's the first time we pegged. That's the first time our TikTok took off.
Yeah. I looked the other day. It's like 19,000 views or something.
Yep.
Something crazy. So.
Well, conspiracy theories put me in. I'm down. But, gentlemen, thank you all very much for having me. I've had a blast.
Yeah, thank you. Well, no, and I would love to do this with you live at some point. If you ever, I know the South Shore region, if you ever come into Charlotte or Raleigh or anywhere, let us know. We'll make the drive. I'm actually in your town tomorrow morning picking up people that is no longer going to college over summer. So I got to go, load up dressers and stuff. So, Phil, please let us know. And whenever Daikin brings out something big or you want to talk about something, get something off your chest, please let us know, man. We'll put you up. We have a list of people we try to follow through, but we can move some stuff around. We would love to have you back on as many times as you would come on.
Love to be part of it. Love to join you. So again, I've had a blast.
Awesome.
I truly have. So thank you.
Well, thanks everybody. Thanks, Will. We're getting back in a rhythm, bud. We took a month off. I feel like we're getting back at it.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. What? I feel like this is a trend. So it's good. We probably should get Marty on next week before the month's out. So we'll get Marty back on. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and I hope the heat comes quickly.
Yeah, I believe so. We need it.
We need it. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.